Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital prediction, Michael goes off the deep end. General Hospital predictions suspect Michael Corinthos may revisit his dark side after he makes a shocking discovery on the ABC daytime drama. Recently on General Hospital, Michael Corinthos was horrified when Drew Kane Quartermain dropped a truth bomb on him. After Ned Quartermain tried to blackmail him, Drew came clean with Michael about his kiss with Willow Tate. Of course, Willow was appalled because she wanted Michael to hear it from her. But Drew didn't want Ned and his mother, Tracy Quartermain, to have that kind of power over him. So he blurted out the truth, leaving Michael in shock on General Hospital. After that, Drew convinced Willow not to tell Michael about the second kiss. However, he already found out from Sasha Gilmore. So he knew Willow wasn't being completely honest with him. No doubt, part of the reason Michael agreed to put Willow's mistake behind them was because he slept with Sasha Gilmore. But recently, Willow made things much worse for herself, and her marriage is likely over soon on General Hospital. After Michael Corinthos, Chad Doyle, learned of Willow Tate's, Caitlin McMullen, deceitful secret, she took things a step further. After hearing about Sam McCall's, Kelly Monaco death, she went to check on Drew Kane Quartermain, Cameron Matheson. She was telling him how sorry she was about Sam when things took a turn. They started kissing again, but this time they wound up sleeping together. Indeed, it was a foolish move because they were in the kids' nursery at the Q Mansion. Meanwhile, on General Hospital, Michael was downstairs in the living room. He could have easily walked in on them, but he still finds out because of the nanny cam app on his phone. This week, Michael sees footage of Willow getting steamy on the floor with Drew. No doubt that will push him too far, and he'll never forgive either one of them, chances are. That will be the end of the Milo marriage. But Mikey might not stop there. He might go on a quest for revenge. Once Michael finds out about Willow and Drew's romp in the nursery, he could very well turn dark. Indeed, it wouldn't be the first time. Michael can be ruthless and vindictive when he feels that it is warranted. Years ago, he went after his father, Sonny Corinthos, Morris Bernard, and he took his daughter, Avery Corinthos, Scorola twins, away from him. For a while, Michael had full custody of his little sister. Then more recently, Michael tried to put Sonny in prison for life on General Hospital. He planted Dex Heller, Avenhofer, in his mob organization. The plan was to get evidence against Sonny that would lock him up for life. In the end, he couldn't go through with it. But he did cut his father out of his life and tried to destroy him for quite some time. Indeed, he has no problem getting down and dirty. And if he can do that to his own father, there's no telling what he will do to Drew and Willow. Even though Drew just lost the mother of his child, that likely will not stop Michael. There's no way he'll let him get away with sleeping with his wife. He may also get ruthless with Willow and even use their children against her. If anything could push Michael to extremes, it's his wife doing the deed with his uncle. And things could get very ugly soon. GH is overflowing with intense drama. Keep watching to see if Michael Corinthos goes off the rails after catching Willow Tate with Drew. Michael Corinthos, heir to the complex Corinthos-Morgan legacy, was often the voice of reason in his tempestuous family. Yet recent betrayals and buried rage have pushed him to the brink. In a town like Port Charles, even the most controlled of men can spiral, and Michael was about to do just that. The breaking point. It started with a betrayal. Drew Kane, the once trusted family ally, had fallen for Willow Tate, Michael's wife. Michael tried to brush it off, to be understanding. Drew had risked his life for the Corinthos family countless times. But understanding morphed into suspicion, and suspicion quickly into seething jealousy. Willow, though she swore nothing was going on, was being evasive. The cool distance Michael noticed in her eyes was a dagger to his heart. Then there was his mother, Carly. She built her life on loyalty and family, and she taught Michael that family came before all else. Yet when she refused to back him up in his anger toward Drew, Michael felt utterly alone. He had expected her to take his side, to acknowledge the insult he felt Drew had heaped upon them all. But Carly insisted he calm down and take things slow. She even seemed sympathetic to Willow, offering her a confidant. In Michael's eyes, this was just another betrayal. With no one to confide in and his heart breaking over Willow, Michael found himself spending late nights alone, drowning his frustrations at Charlie's pub. As the nights wore on, he became something he despised, bitter, angry, and brooding. He felt like he was losing his grip on everything he valued. Slowly, Port Charles became a place filled with the ghosts of people he could no longer trust. A plan unfolds. In his spiral, Michael's mind turned to his father's empire and how it might serve his purposes. Sonny Corinthos had been many things to Michael: a father figure, a mentor, a man whose actions Michael both admired and condemned. But now Michael saw Sonny's empire as a way to regain control of his life. The danger, the power, the control. He realized that if he played his cards right, he could finally escape from his father's shadow and become something more, something of his own making. The idea took root in Michael's mind like a dark seed. He would take over his father's operations, piece by piece. No longer would he play the passive son in Sonny's world of crime and loyalty. If his father had learned anything from their past conflict, it was that Michael was ruthless when crossed. But Sonny wouldn't simply hand over the keys. If Michael wanted to take his father's empire, he would have to go behind his back. He would need allies, people who felt as betrayed by Sonny as he did. Dangerous alliances. Enter Dex Heller, Sonny's enforcer who had long lived with the shadow of his loyalty, questioned by Sonny himself. Dex, feeling the cold edge of Sonny's suspicion, found himself caught between his loyalty to his boss and his distrust of Michael. But he also saw something dangerous and charismatic in Michael's new demeanor. Under the pretense of discussing family issues, Michael pulled Dex into his web. Slowly, Michael painted a picture of a world where Sonny was no longer the ruling power of Port Charles. A world where Michael ruled, bringing a new, more controlled style to the Corinthos legacy. Dex, weary of Sonny's volatile leadership, found himself nodding along. Michael started leveraging Sonny's weak points, feeding his allies small bits of information that subtly undermined Sonny's reputation and power. But as he gained followers, Michael's paranoia also began to rise. Every shadow, every murmur in the hallways of Sonny's business seemed like a potential betrayal. The deeper he got, the more he felt everyone was watching him, waiting for him to slip. The confrontation. It wasn't long before Sonny grew wise to Michael's intentions. The family dinner was tense, filled with unsaid accusations. Finally, Sonny broke the silence. "Michael," Sonny said, his tone calm but his eyes smoldering, "I know what you're doing." Michael met his father's gaze, unflinching. "What I'm doing, Dad, is claiming what's mine. You think you can hold power over all of us, but we're not your little soldiers anymore. You should have realized that." Sonny's fist hit the table, rattling glasses. "Is that what you want? To be me? Because it'll eat you alive." Michael laughed bitterly. "Maybe I'm already there, Dad. Maybe that's because of you." With that, Michael left the room, leaving Sonny staring at his own reflection in his son's anger. It was a confrontation Sonny hadn't seen coming, and it unnerved him. Michael had crossed a line, one that neither of them could ever walk back from. The descent. Over the next few weeks, Michael became an entirely different person. Every ally he recruited became a pawn, Every plan he made a stepping stone toward full control. Even Willow noticed his transformation, sensing the darkness that had taken hold of him. One night, unable to stand the tension, Willow confronted him. "Michael, what are you doing? This isn't you." Michael looked at her with hollow eyes. "Maybe it is, Willow. Maybe this is who I was always meant to be." In a desperate plea, she asked, "What about our family? What about Wiley?" But Michael only looked away, his mind focused on the empire he was building. Willow saw the love in his eyes fading, replaced by something chilling and unrecognizable. A turning point. Eventually, Michael's descent began to take its toll. Allies became enemies, whispers turned into threats, and he found himself trapped in a world where he trusted no one. The control he thought he wanted was slipping through his fingers, and all that remained was the raw anger and sadness that had driven him to this point. In a fateful twist, Dex, who had initially been Michael's strongest ally, became wary of the depths Michael was sinking to. The young enforcer saw the writing on the wall. Michael was becoming a threat not only to Sonny, but to everyone involved. One evening, in a darkened warehouse, Dex cornered Michael. "You're not yourself anymore. I don't know what you've become, but it's dangerous. I won't go down with you." Michael, his face drawn and weary, simply nodded. "I don't expect you to." The sound of sirens pierced the silence. Dex's hand shook as he realized what was happening. Michael had set him up, just like he'd set up everyone else. But Michael felt nothing. He turned and walked into the night, leaving the life he once knew, the love he once cherished, and the family he once fought for behind him. The final descent. Michael was now a man alone, haunted by his choices, with no one left to turn to. He had won the empire he sought, but in the process, he had lost himself entirely. And in the shadows of Port Charles, a new, more ruthless Corinthos reigned, a man who had gone off the deep end, and who might never find his way back.